He is smiling at a man standing beside the river several meters from him. Even from the distance, you're pretty sure Nuxius has nice teeth. Probably illusions, you think. No? Egra chuckles in your mind. Looks, youth, intelligence, power. Truly the gods give too much to too few. You should know that about gods being unfair, you lash out in your mind. A powerful wizard should at least be an old man. Plus, he's a necromancer, someone who deals in dead things. And he's young and handsome, and meanwhile, I'm a hero, but a blasted zombie. She laughs again. That's it, champion. Air your grievances. Well, it's not his fault. I mean, technically speaking, Nuxius never made super powerful enemies, especially at the start of the series. This guy made enemies out of literally everyone. Drala, fucking Drala to some extent, not entirely, but Drala, fucking Kalak. There's dragons as well in there somewhere. There's Galmagus. There's fucking gods, hogs and whatnot. Hog and everyone wants to kill him and shit. Fucking this guy. Nuxius made enemies with Drala at the end of the show, and made a little bit of enemy with some. No, he actually made enemies with certain powerful characters at the end of the show, but he then killed Nerul, so everyone just backed the fuck off. So yeah, that's a champion. Air your grievances over and over. That shall fix everything. The multiverse revolves around you. To be a zombie is a legitimate grievance, you say. You're in good company, says Egra. Are they all trapped in their meat husk like I am, their minds, their souls? Yes, but less conscious of it, says Egra. So I'm worse off than them, you say. That is no way to treat a champion. You expect more taunting from Egra, but she seems suddenly distracted. Set your focus on what you see so that you can be distracted too. Distracted from your pathetic state. The flickering green light of the nearby pyramid plays over the scene, creating shifting shadows. The man Nuxius has been smiling at is tall and clean-shaven, with long dark hair. He's very young, perhaps a late teenager. Yeah, he was a teenager because his body's changed. He wears chain-plate mail spattered with blood. He's standing in a fighting stance, facing Nuxius, a long sword covered with gore at the ready. This is where you and your companions are heading. There are already undead there, scores of them, but unlike the jumbled mob that you're traveling with, these are standing in a neat line along the river. Undead goblin at the front of the line shambles up to Nuxius, reaches up to the wizards, reaches down and then touch green claw to bare hand. Immediately goblin convulses and rushes at the warrior by the river, his claws raised menacingly. The warrior steps deftly to the side as he decapitates the undead goblin. Is he training him? The forward momentum of the small zombie sends his body and severed head into the river to be carried away by the current. It joins the ragged line of drifting bodies that stretch out to where the river disappears into a tunnel at the end of the cavern. Heavily armored. I feel like Nuxius will know immediately what's happening as soon as we touch his feet or something. Heavily armored undead knight shambles forward, fastens his one gauntlet, raises his bare hand up to Nuxius as the goblin had done before. Upon the touch, the knight convulses briefly, then charges at the warrior just as the goblin had done. The warrior pivots and strikes, clanking its sword against armor as the knight drives in, trying to grasp his prey. The warrior pivots the other way and cleaves through the helm of the undead knight, embedding his blade deep into the skull. The undead collapses into the muddy riverbank. The animation of its undead gone swiftly, an Orthrax demon, also undead from the many grievous wounds on him, steps forward and kicks the knight off the embankment into the river. Summer body immediately sinks out of sight. Your view is soon blocked off as your zombie self falls in line with others. Every few seconds you move forward a step. Soon we will touch the hand of the Godslayer, says Egra. He will be in for a surprise. What's your plan, you ask? Egra says nothing. The zombie self is jostled from behind by something. Your head flops down. You catch a glimpse of the amulet before your vision rises up. The amulet is out, you say. Did you take it out? I enjoy making a spectacle of myself sometimes, you say. No, you don't. You always hide, you say. Again, Egra says nothing. Yet something is happening. Well, if you get discovered, it's nothing to me. You say I'm just a stupid zombie. I'm guessing she wanted Nuxius to be her champion or something like that. One particularly large undead Orthrax demon had been blocking your view, is headed by the warrior, sent down the river, so you're again able to see most of what's going on. The first thing you notice is that there is a new character near Nuxius, a robed skeleton, which is no surprise, but you remember this one, the Lich. Yes, Melios in his faded cloak. Wait, Melios was the witch of the Varys, wasn't it? Melios was part of Varys' army, wasn't it? I thought he was Varys' guy. Is Varys under Nuxius? No, that's not possible. We told him about Nuxius. This is Melios in his faced cloak standing beside Nuxius. His cowl is down, revealing his bare pearly skull. The Lich has his head bowed in deference to the wizard. Where he came from, you have no idea. As you draw closer, you can just make out the conversation. I do not know, master, says the Lich. The soul you seek could be anyone in the city, or beyond the city as well. I cannot tell whether he is even on this plane. Tell the truth, says Nuxius, his voice booming. His voice carries power, sending a shudder through you and the zombie line. I do speak the truth, master, says the Lich. His frame of bones is trembling now. Give me a guess then, says Nuxius, touching the hand of a obese zombie that's sending it away towards the waiting warrior to be hacked apart. One of noble heart, one of the paladins perhaps, may have fallen recently. I expect they will arrive for you this night. Anyone could make that guess, says Nuxius. His eyes suddenly blaze with green light. His lip turns into a snarl and he lifts his hand over the lich. The Lich. A crackling green electricity erupts from his fingers. Milius covers further. Allow me a moment to think on it, he says. The Nuxius must be desperate to be asking for guesswork. What a duplicitous Lich, you think. First he betrays Galmagus for that devil, Varys. Now he serves the Nuxius. What do you suppose that is, says Agra. What do you say? Nuxius controls the undead. A Lich is smart enough to know when to switch allegiances. Yeah, a Lich is smart enough to know, I'm guessing. A Lich is smart enough to know when to switch allegiances, you say. If he could betray Galmagus, he could betray the devil too. I suppose, says Agra, her tone bored. Most likely the leader of the Alathians, says the Lich at last. Leaders of the Alathians, says Lich at last. Avis is her name. She has a great favor from her gods, as I've witnessed before myself. I suspect she's possessed by Alathia's child. If anyone in the city is your lost soul, I would guess is that priestess turned paladin. Oh, is Nuxius... Yeah, Nuxius does have a part of her soul then, Neruls, because otherwise she would not... Otherwise, she would not be, asking for the lost soul. She's still looking for her husband or whatever, like her lover or whatnot. Nuxius glances over at the Lich, frowns, and returns his attention to the undead that are approaching him from the line. Go, he says. Use the teleportation circle. When I summon you, use the secret door. The Lich straightens up and nods. He retreats a few steps, not turning his back to the wizard and raising his cowl. He steps inside a red outlined circle with runes drawn around it. Stands motionless for a second before raising his pinprick glowing eyes back up to Nuxius. You cannot teleport so close to us, says Nuxius in a tired voice, not turning his attention from the undead. From the great burial chamber, you can find another circle to make you exit. The Lich nods and hovers off the ground and begins floating in the direction you came from. Towards you, his eyes rove over the line of undead passing over you and then returning to you. Swiftly he hovers over to peer down at you. He reaches his skeleton hand towards you, his bone fingertips only an inch from your face. Do you remember me? Comes a shrill voice, commanding voice in your head. There comes your undead body shudders. You feel compelled to say something back in your mind. No, all skeletons look alike to me. What do you say? Yeah, sure. Yes, your name is Milius. Morality is 1 apparently. Yes, your name is Milius, you say. The point of light in Lich's eyes brighten for a moment. You feel as though a hand has reached in and grabbed your soul, and stretching it, pulling it out of you. Your thoughts shred apart. Just as quickly, the pain is extinguished as the hand withdraws. Your mind returns. Milius, shouts Nuxius. Why did you seek to destroy that one? Apologies, shouts Milius. He's a troublemaker. I beg you will crush him thoroughly. I will decide, says Nuxius. Now go. Nuxius lingers for a moment longer, his eyes fixed on you before he moves on, hovering away. I know of his betrayal, you think. This was his second failure to destroy me for it. What terrible timing to have attention drawn to us by that Lich, says Agra. Remember, I wish I were the daughter of Tychus. So much can be accomplished with blind luck alone. Your line continues to move forward, and soon you're only a few undead away. This is a fine exercise, says the young man. You're of little test to my skill. Give them more vigor in their attacks. You always enjoy unnecessary risk, dear Reginald. Yes, that was his name, says the Nuxius. Why am I smiling? Because he said Reginald. Said Nuxius with a glimmer of a smile. This is Reginald, you think. Reginald was the friend of Nuxius that House Rudahir had mentioned in the spy report. Just a little closer, champion. Soon we will have him, says Agra. An undead toad demon touches Nuxius' hand and convulses as usual. Nuxius nods at the undead demon, and the monster launches into a frantic charge at Reginald. Now that you are so close and your eyes are set upon Nuxius, you cannot clearly see the battle that ensues, but it is ferocious merely what you can tell by the blur of your peripheral vision. The grunts from Reginald, the rapid ringing of steel. A few seconds later, the large Othrax demon that has just been cleaning up bodies jerks into motion and stalks past you out of your view, and there is a tall tale splash of yet another corpse being cast off. Regnal steps into your line of sight. He's peering at you as he sticks the point of his sword down into the mud to rest his arm. He is breathing hard. He nods at you, takes a deep breath, and says, "Here's the one the Lich didn't care for." He sucks another deep breath, which probably means that he was a good man in life. For a Lich, the list of those they do not care for is very long, says Nuxius. "Still, maybe you can go easy on him, just the slightest taste," says Reginald. He draws another breath and says, "His sword sheath is empty, no doubt lost on the battlefield outside. Hopefully stuck in the hide of one of those monsters." Nuxius rubs his chin. "This is an unusual one, don't you agree, Reginald?" Reginald walks over and wraps his blade on the prostrate undead giant tunic while keeping his eyes on you. "Your memory spells are working well enough for me to say that this man is unusually dressed for a citizens of our dear Ring City," he chuckles. "For his upper half, he is dressed as a woman about to lie down for sleep, while his lower half, his trousers are a strange choice. Either this man fell upon his fair share of misfortune even before his untimely death, or he's not the sort that fears scrutiny of others." Nuxius smiles. More than your memories are returning, so is your sense of humor for making understatements. Beyond his usual clothing, what else does he wear that is of note? "The amulet, I'd wager," says Regnal. "That's an Alathian holy symbol. It does not look like a priest to me." Nuxius nods, obviously pleased. "Agreed on that count, my friend. Also, the amulet does not burn his skin despite his state of undeath. The Lich called him a troublemaker, but I'd call him a puzzle." Regnal smiles. "You always enjoyed your puzzles, eh, Ghost?" Nuxius grits his teeth and takes a deep breath as though steeling himself or something. "Not anymore," he says, his lips pressed together, make a thin line. "Take his head, Reginald." "Without you tasting him first?" says Reginald, crinkling his brow. "No, he's not the one," shouts Nuxius, his voice suddenly urgent, his fingers pressed in his temple, his body rocking back and forth in his seat. "It's a trap, you fool, it's a trap." He looks to Reginald, his eyes watering. "She wants him, but I will not touch this one's soul. Do it for I cannot. She will not allow." Yeah, so Nerol is in there. Again, he presses his fingers to his temple, closes his eyes. Reginald nods grimly, advances swiftly towards you, raising his blade. "I'm about to lose my head, you think. And there's nothing that your stupid zombie body is going to do about it." Life decreases 10, favor decreases 3. Suddenly you're alive. Your heart begins to beat as you feel your wounds. Oh, it take 30 fucking favor to come back to life. Feel your wounds closing and blood pumping. You take in a sharp breath. Reginald is only a step away, his sword drawn back, his eyes pinned to the side of your neck. No doubt where he's about to strike. With life now only returning to your body, your strength is low, cannot do much. You probably can only focus on one thing. Duck. Life decreases 3 apparently. You duck. The blade whispers over your head. You leap back as Reginald whips his blade around again. He is a fast swordsman. You do not get quite fast enough. Tip of blade slices across your abdomen. Favor decreases 6. Your body vibrates as your world loses all color, becoming shades of grey, black, and white. You become weightless and lift off the floor. You stretch a tippy toe down and goes into the stone floor. Nuxius is now little more than a shadow of a man and is surrounded by ghastly spirits that draped over him. A multi-headed beast has its arm wrapped around the wizard's leg. A wailing pig-like beast is hugging his fat arm around his torso. A man floats above with a tongue as long as he is, licks the wizard's shoulder. Most spirits circle around Nuxius, their hungry eyes intent on him. Unlike Reginald, Nuxius, the river, and all else, there are spirits of very real, far more solid than anything else, although still without color. In the instant it takes you to see all this, you suddenly realize Nuxius is pointing at you, his ghostly lips moving without sound. A grey ray shoots forth from his finger and through you, yet you feel nothing from it. In fact, you feel nothing at all in general, not even air going into your lungs. Unearthly wails, cries rise up, deafening you. At least some of this is coming from the spirits near Nuxius. Ghostly Reginald adopts a defensive stance. His sword is in front of him. His eyes stare through you. "Welcome back to the ethereal plains, Zegra. I took the initiative to bring you here as I saw no other possible escape from immediate destruction." One of the spirits, a stringy-haired, wart-colored hag circling above, spots you, shrieks something in a language you cannot understand. However, you have the feeling it's not a greeting of welcome. Although you doubt Reginald can harm you with his sword now that you're in ethereal, you instinctively step away from him as he charges, the result not being a step but a lateral hovering movement. At least you know you can move. Without a wizard as powerful as the Nuxius, a wizard that has already proclaimed his wish to have your head removed from your body, you imagine you don't have much time. You have no weapons other than your dagger, which seem quite inadequate. A few options come to you. Perhaps you could get the amulet on Nuxius's neck, like you did with the war godling in Ethereal. You might be able to approach him without him blasting you or Reginald chopping you up. On the other hand, maybe it's time to retreat, perhaps into the ground or into the temple. I think the best option is to retreat into the ground. But I'm gonna go retreat towards the temple because that sounds interesting. Let's do that. The hag spirit caught sight of you, and the other monster spirits are sure to do soon as well. Assuming they can harm you in this world, you'll never get to Nuxius. And you're curious to see what's in the pyramid. You will yourself towards the pyramid, hovering over quickly. The hag screams something again. Looking back, you see the hag is in pursuit, flying much faster than you are. Faster, you will yourself. You pick up speed as the pyramid gets close. Are you fast enough? Um, is it fast enough? What the fucking song got stuck in my head back in the day? Just as you reach the ghostly wall of the edifice, you feel a terrible stinging, like nails ripping into your flesh, followed by numbing pain in your back. Then you're into the wall. For a moment, you see nothing but a thick fog. A moment later, you're in a faint chamber, dining room by the looks of it, with a long table surrounded by large cushion chairs. There's what must be shrill scream of the hag behind you. You dive down into the floor. Again, thick fog envelops you. Suddenly you are in a ghostly hall, but only for a moment before you plunge into the ground. You suspect Egra is now guiding you. As the thick fog blinds you, the sound of your pursuer becomes faint. Am I going deep into the pyramid, you wonder? Suddenly the fog thins and then it is gone. You find yourself hovering above the central floor of a large circular chamber. To one side there are stairs going up. On the opposite side, a wide hall exits. Along the walls of the chamber are 6 doors, evenly spaced apart. The chamber is supported by many pillars, and is between these pillars are nested sarcophagi. Because these features are so faint in this ghostly world, you have to peer intently to see what the sarcophagi have had their lids off, with many of the thick slabs smashed on the floor. In this world of faded shapes, there's something that stands out sharply, runes glowing white over one otherwise ghostly door opposite you.